Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. We are here for another, it's not Victory Information podcast, but we're here for another Nosebleed section, just about the playoff preview edition. I'm your host as always, joined by my co-host as always. What's going on? What's going
What
on?
up? What up? How you doing?
This one will probably be, like I said, it probably won't be too long. Probably won't be too long tonight. We know national championships on. Trust me, we have that on our TVs already muted. We're
Yeah.
watching for multiple reasons, whether you're going for Georgia, whether you're going for TCU.
Matter of fact, let me take my glasses off before the NCAA actually, copyright strikes us from me streaming a game in my glasses.
Oh my gosh. Right. Like we saw flashes on your back wall that looked like the national championship games,
Yep.
so we're gonna flag this video.
Deleted.
Right.
It's blocked.
I know, don't need that anywhere. Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna get into we have a rundown. Before we get into it, everybody we just want to say, support the channel, like, comment, share, check us out, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We're on Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch on every podcast episode. Come join the live comment section. Give us, come talk, come chat with us. Let's talk about what's going on. All of our Giants fans and everything. Me and Paul will be doing our pick'em show. Probably, I don't know. It goes back and forth. Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. Come back, check us out. Give us a subscription, like the video, all that. It helps us grow and everything. But yeah, like I said, we're probably not going to be here that long today. We want to watch this game, just everybody else does. We want to, for multiple reasons. We want to see a good game, obviously in football, but we also want to see. We're definitely scouting right now.
Yeah.
We're definitely got some people in mind on both
Yes.
sides, on both teams.
Yes, we
Some
do.
linemen, OD, some corners, and everything. So, um, yeah, let's talk about the game real quick. So, as everybody knows, as as everybody knows, the Giants went into Philly with their backups, and I mean, went night and day from the first game. I'll tell you that much. You go from giving up 48 with your starters to only giving up 22 with the backups. Like, damn. Like, I don't. We both were talking about it was just a surprise. I know like the Eagles ended up winning, but it was only by a touchdown, and they had to leave their starters in the entire game. Like, you know, I know you were talking about Davis Webb playing decently well. Uh, just off the numbers, Webb went 23 for 40 with 168 yards passing, a rushing touchdown, and a passing touchdown.
Yep.
Um, Breida Brightwell and Webb, the combination, they all ran for over 100 yards between the three of them. They had a touchdown. Lawrence Cager, and I know you'll get into him in a bit because I know you had some questions and concerns about him.
Right.
He led pretty much everybody. He had 8 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. And I know we'll focus on the offensive side of the ball first, then we'll move to the defensive side of the ball. But I know there were some things again. I know you brought up also about Evan Neal. He had some struggles against Hassan Reddick and everything again with his pass pro and his technique and everything. But I mean, the O line, for what it's worth, with the complete backup O line, you're talking Tyree Smith at left guard. I want to say Gates and Bryson played a little bit. They played the
They
guard and
did.
center. They played
They
the
did.
guard and center. And then you
But
had Jack
honestly,
Anderson.
honestly, Phillips
Right.
played a bit at right tackle as well. So it was just like Dable was shuffling the offensive line a bit.
Yeah. I'm like, you had those two. Other than those two, other than Gates and Bredesen, everybody else was pretty much was a backup. Jack Anderson played right guard, and Evan Neal played the right tackle. Started too. But two of your five people were backups, and I'm pretty sure they were cycling other people in along with other backups on the offense.
Mhm.
But I'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts, at least on the offensive side of the ball? What did you see? Because again, our O line didn't even give up a sack the whole game against that front seven. That says a lot to me. With
Right.
backup,
Basically, what you had yesterday was a the weird dichotomy of having a quarterback with NFL experience, but not NFL game experience. So Davis Webb was out there, although he was under pressure a bit. he knew how to navigate the pocket. He knew how to spin out of different sacks and all kinds of other stuff. He never really got himself, Davis Webb himself, into, like massive amounts of trouble. He got the ball away when he needed to. He never really put the ball in any kind. Well, he did put it in danger a couple of times, but it wasn't like just throwing into the defender's face mask kind of danger. Like,
Right.
so it wasn't anything like that. That when you go out there with a third string quarterback, that you would, technically expect to happen. Um,
Mm.
the two sacks, I believe it was two sacks that they had on us. The two sacks that they had on us were actually credited against Jamie Gillen
Yeah.
and Lawrence
Lawrence
Casey,
Cager. Yeah.
because we were running trick plays. We ran a fake punt or fake field goal, and we couldn't get that one off. And then we ran a throwback that under normal circumstances would have been fine, but when you try to run something similar to the Philly special against Philadelphia, that might not work. Like, I understand like what he was doing. Like, it's just like, all right, we have a freebie game out here. Let's go out here and just try a bunch of stuff to see how it works. But like that one, no.
Yeah. Dave was
Let's
definitely
not
having
do
fun.
that.
Dave was definitely having his fun.
Yeah, granted, it wasn't Kansas City fun. Like, these guys
No.
circling
Oh,
in the huddle. But
these guys were playing freaking Ring Around the Rosie last night. That was crazy. Yo, like I want to put that up on on TikTok. These guys were legit just running
yes,
in circles
it was
and then just
absolute
broke to the
insanity.
huddle. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like on any level, any trick play, I've never in my life seen what Kansas City did.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that. Like that was complete madness. It was amazing to watch, though.
Yeah, but these guys, they were out there. They were basically out there trying stuff out because we essentially had a preseason game during the regular season. So we had the ability to go out there and test people out. Guys that we just picked up. I know we're not talking about the defense right now. We guys we just picked up not too long ago got an opportunity that they wouldn't have normally gotten before. Um, you had receivers out there that had kind of sort of fallen into the doghouse, and we're not just talking about Kenny Galladay. You know, Marcus Johnson was out there. I'm not. I don't have his stats in front of me, but I know he caught a couple of passes or whatever. So
I think he
he
had
was out there.
30 something yards.
Yeah. So he was out there like he fallen into the doghouse, but he got another opportunity to, at the very least, put some positive film out there for himself. Because who
Yeah.
knows what's going to happen with him after this season goes. So you had like a really good situation. I love the way Gary Brightwell runs. Like the man runs like he thinks this carry that he has right now is his last opportunity.
Mm.
That is the type of fire that I like in guys or whatever, right? Like I could completely understand like when people look at guys like when Ahmad Bradshaw was here, the how violently he ran would actually contributed to his injuries and everything like that. But when a guy goes out there and he actually is just like, you know what, I'm going to put everything I got into this one run as if I'm not going to get another opportunity, that's when you get people who actually really want it more than somebody else. And that's not put anything out there like saying Burrito or Saquon don't want it. That's just saying Gary Brightwell is going to go out there and whoever he's running up against in that one particular play, they had to be ready. They had better be ready to take on somebody who is playing like they ain't got nothing to lose.
Yo, he was running. He runs hard. Like I know, like
Yes, he does.
we were sitting here the first year, just like okay, like Gary Brightwell, okay, a running back out of Arizona, and then when he wasn't even talking about his running style, like when he got
It was
picked up
special
and when
teams.
he got drafted, yeah, he was like, oh, I love special teams. I'll do whatever you need. It's like I'll go play. I'll go do be a gunner. I'll go run down punt and kick return.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do kickoff. I don't care. Like this is a starting running back for a major D1 school. I know Arizona isn't the greatest, but like you're a starting running back. For you to get drafted in the NFL and be like, oh, I love special teams. Put me on kickoff. I'll go hit
And
somebody. I don't care.
and the funny thing about it is, if you remember, we actually drafted him specifically for special teams.
Yeah.
That came in the Joe Judge era.
Yep.
So like that's what he was drafted for. And like he comes out there, he makes, every once in a while you'll see like a bonehead decision from him trying to return something that he shouldn't, which is a
Yeah.
which is a credit to him, and his mindset of this may be my last chance type thing. But when he goes out there and he actually makes a good decision to return a kick or something like that, he's going out there running with reckless abandon. He's just like, I'm gonna make something of this.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's like that's something that like honestly I miss.
Yeah. I mean, like as much as I love Saquon, you know how much I do. Like
Yeah.
Saquon, like sometimes we sit here and we watch Saquon run, and he'll get between the tackle and the guard, and somebody will like touch Saquon's leg, and he'll just spin and just fall to the ground. You're like, dude, like you're like 235. Your legs are bigger than my entire body. Why is somebody tackling you by your foot? Like, and then you get somebody like Brightwell, who's probably like 10, 15 pounds less than Saquon, who gets the ball and just runs straight, and it's just like I'm taking everybody's head off. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll just run directly at a D tackle and try to run him over. I don't care. Like he just runs recklessly. Like he's the NFL. Like when we were growing up in the
Yep.
middle, like, he's the
With,
NFL.
with
Like
with the shoulder pads that are 2 times the size of what they are now and
of
everything.
here,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. That's what Gary Brightwell is. That dude just be running. He does not care. I'm like, yo, he he definitely the throwback player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I know Marcus Johnson was out there. I'm fine with moving on from him. At like he hasn't really showed us much of anything, so I'm fine moving
No.
on from him. Hodgins can, I need that guy locked up like tomorrow. Like,
You know what you saw what I called him earlier, future Hall of Famer. I'm up here like, yo, this dude like I don't remember seeing him out there. I hope he wasn't, but
nah, he wasn't
I was
really.
I was really only half paying attention to a lot of what was going on yesterday, just because of the fact that it was so just nonchalant with us yesterday. So I wasn't really paying attention to a whole lot of who was out there and who was doing what. But somebody I really, really want to key in on, like you brought him up earlier, Lawrence Cager. I'm pretty sure this happened because of the fact that they wanted to shift to focusing on running the football in the second half of the season. But you saw earlier on in the season, he had a 2 or 3 game stretch where he was like our leading receiver for a while.
Yeah,
Him on those crossing routes and everything was killing everybody. And then he just disappeared. And I don't know what happened because it was just healthy scratch, healthy scratch, healthy scratch. I don't know what happened, but yesterday he showed again. And it's not like he was going up against Philadelphia's second and third defense because they had their starters out there the whole game.
yeah.
He's showing you what he can do while he's out there. So, like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and act like Brian Dable did anything wrong. Well, Georgia just scored. Um,
Well, damn. I'm behind for like a second. Okay, yeah, they scored.
but I'm not one to question a whole lot of what Brian Dable does, but that's one that I'm wondering, like, okay, what was the real logic behind that, aside from bringing somebody in who's going to be quote unquote a better blocker, right? That that
I,
one
I feel
that
like
one gets me.
I feel like it was. I don't know if it was like a matchup thing or what, because then we talked about it all the time. Like the same thing, like with like Darius Williams and everybody, like all these people that were just being healthy scratched week to week to week to week. And even think with Lawrence Cager, like, okay, you had Bellinger who went out. Cager came in, stepped in, had 2, 3, 4 game stretch where he was very effective for us. Belly started working his way back. We had Tanner Hudson, and Hudson didn't do
And
bad.
and
And then
Myra
like we huh?
and Myra.
Yeah, and Myrick. Yeah. And then like we let him go. And after a while I was like, okay, Cager was a pretty solid piece of our offense. Like, why is he not back? Like, why is he not
And
playing?
why is Nick Vanette getting like
Right.
snaps
Like,
over this guy?
that's what I'm saying. Like, and we would sign Nick Vanette to the practice squad and move him to the start active roster, and then we're starting this guy. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if we want to appear one dimensional. I don't know if that's what it was. Like, okay, like we don't want to put you on because we know not capable of blocking. So we
Mm-hmm.
know more often if you're going on the field, it's going to be a pass. whereas Nick Van Ness can do both. Maybe that's what they were thinking. But I'm like, yo, like you can't just sacrifice a piece of your offense like that. Like
Yeah.
you, especially with the people that we had to offer for Daniel Jones, like you can't sit up here and be like, all right, like your second best, well, really your second best target. We're going to of the past 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to just take him away. We'll figure it out.
Hmm.
I mean, Daniel did, but like, what if we did that with Hodgins? Like, what if we would have been like, all right, this 5 game stretch was amazing. Now go sit down, and like we just like put Marcus Johnson back in. It was just like, oh,
Hmm.
like that was so. You're right. Like that was one thing that kind of like I questioned too. I was like, why did we just do that? I think one of the main things that I was watching, and I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game because I had to do I had to coach a football clinic last night. One of the main things that I saw again, and that's what we talked about before we even got on, was the line. Was the line like? And again, you're going into it with all backups, like except for two, and they were rotating. So you go out with Tyree Phillips at your left tackle spot. Okay, you had Burnson, you had Gates rotating in and out. And then your right guard, you had Jack Anderson. Your right tackle, you had Evan Neal. Evan Neal had an up and down game. He struggles against some speed rushers. I see from what I've seen this year. Like
It's
he
Hassan
struggles.
Reddick, man. Like,
Yeah, I know. Like that dude's like a corner coming off the edge. He's fast as hell. So I'm not even
mhm.
like he did enough. He's a rookie. He's going to get better. We all know that. So we're all like, we're not going to crucify Evan Neal. It's not going to happen. I will give them all their kudos though, because again, like you said, not Philly had to be frustrated yesterday.
Yeah,
Like, there's no way whether you're the players, the staff, like if you're Nick Sirianni, whoever you was watching or whoever was coaching and playing, the whole the whole city, even though they were cheering as they won and they locked up number one seed, whatever, y'all had Philly had to be upset with how yesterday went. There's no way you have that amazing confidence from the first game. Like the first game, you came into MetLife, you rolled us 48-22. Like got us. It was one of those games like you freaking Jamie Gillen dropping punts, people dropping picks, like couldn't stop a nosebleed, let alone a run. Like couldn't do anything. Came in with our backups, and we're sitting up here like running, like you said, we're running over here running fake field goals, we're over here running throwback passes. We're playing Madden with you with backups. Like we're running trick plays for the hell of it. Like, oh, let's see if this works.
hmm
And like we have an entire backup offensive line in, and Davis Webb is fresh. My man was not sacked, not one time, against one of the scariest front sevens in the entire league, against Hassan Reddick and Javon Hargrave and everybody. I know Josh Sweat wasn't playing, but you still have everybody else over there. That front four and those linebacking core. And you sat up here and you couldn't touch Davis Webb on this backup offensive line where everybody shits on the Giants. So I'm like, oh, like you're they have one of the a middle, a middle of the road offensive line.
at
If our
best.
starting O line is middle of the line, what is our backup line? Like you and you couldn't touch Davis what not one time? Are you really that confident in your team coming off of 2 straight losses and a struggle victory in Philadelphia against backup New York Giants? Are you really that confident in your team right now? Like, I don't think you are. I just don't think you are. And this isn't to say that I'm not saying the Giants going to come up here and steamroll next time we play. I'm not saying that at all. But for a regular season finale, when you were playing your starters, you had AJ Brown and Devonta Smith against Rodarius Williams and Cardell Flott. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you had your starting O line in, and we had Tamon Fox and Ellis and O'Shea Jimenez and Ryder Anderson as our front four, and we're getting home. And Micah McFadden has a sack, and Jared Davis, who we just picked up on like Wednesday of last week, comes in and has a monster game. Like, are you really going into the playoffs like, oh yeah, we got this, we about to roll everybody? Are you really
Mhm.
that confident, Philly? Like, I don't know. I
I
don't know
could
if you
sit up
are.
here. I could sit up here and say like that game yesterday. One of the things I was saying leading up to the game was about how momentum is like the ultimate balancer, and it doesn't matter like if it's good momentum or bad momentum. Like it'll balance out anything. Like that's how a 9-7 New York Giants team in 2011, like I was saying earlier, with a -6 point differential, goes in and beats a 15-1 Green Bay Packers team in Green Bay in the playoffs. That's how that happens. Regardless of what the score was earlier in the year when it was 38-35, but still, like that was in our stadium. This was in the playoffs in Lambeau. That's how things happen. So I was sitting up there and I'm like, you know what? The side of me that wants us to gain the momentum, I want our starters to play. I want us to go out there. I want us to see how we measure up against who record wise is the best team in the NFL. Oh my goodness.
Yo, like,
TCU just fumbled and Georgia got the ball back.
oh my gosh, yeah.
This, this game is going to get bad.
And you know what was really ugly was the fact that Georgia had TCU at a 3rd and 23 and got called for a defensive holding
Mm-hmm.
and gave TCU automatic first, and that's when you come back and you drop the. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh.
But anyway, like I was saying, like I look at something and I'm just like, you know what? 07 against the Patriots. You see how we match up against, quote unquote, the best team in the NFL. And like if we get beat, we get beat. But if we go out there and we put together a performance that is respectable, we go out there and we show how that we show ourselves that we can stand on equal footing with this team. Had that could like be like all kinds of positive going into the playoffs. Yesterday was probably the absolute ultimate best case scenario because our backups did it.
I'm saying,
Like I
like
know like the Philly fans were out there and like I said, congrats to them, locking up the NFC East and the number 1 seed. Um, sorry, not sorry to Dallas for not going out there beating them, but
yeah, no,
you wouldn't have won the division anyway because you went out there and lost to Washington. But
they got rolled
yeah,
26-6.
but the crowd yesterday, you could see exactly how concerned they were. Not necessarily with the Giants themselves, because you know how Philadelphia fans are. They don't give a shit about us, regardless of
Yeah,
what we do. But with the performance of their own team. And not just yesterday, talking about just in the recent weeks. That was not the crowd. That was not the reaction of a team that just locked up number 1 seed in the conference. That was
no,
just yeah, but
no,
um
yeah. I'm telling you, yo. I'm telling you. Like that's what that was the main one of the main draw. I know we were talking about you were talking about yo, I don't want to sit up here in the season on a bad note and go in morale low and everything into roll to the first round of playoffs against the Vikings. Like why not play the starters and have enough on a good note and everything? And I came and I know I was going back and forth. We were going back and forth in general, and I was like, well, I don't want to play our starters because I don't want to risk anybody getting hurt. I don't
mhm.
want anybody to get hurt. I don't want nothing crazy to happen that shouldn't happen. I don't want nobody to
and
take
you
a
didn't
cheap
want us
shot.
and you didn't want us to go out there and get rolled again.
Exactly. Like in Philly and get beat 40-7. Like I'm like, nah. Now I'm really pissed off watching this.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the best of all worlds. You sat up here, you went into Philly with your backups, hung tough the entire game, only lost by 6, 22-16.
Mm-hmm.
Our third quarterback ran over your starting safety to score a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, who
Kenny
has not
Galladay
scored,
put y'all
finally
on a
scores a
poster.
touchdown. Like Kenny Galladay beats his former teammate, Pro Bowl corner Darius Slay, for his first touchdown to the Giant, and we got out the game completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask for more. Like, if I was a Giant, if I went to that game yesterday, I'd have been laughing. I'd just been like, oh, y'all in trouble. Like, y'all in trouble. Because
Like,
there was no threat of Jalen Hurts trying to even pull a ball and try to run because he was
mm-hmm.
not trying to get hit.
Right.
Because if that dude takes one shot, he's going to be out again.
Mm-hmm.
And if these guys go in the first round and lose, oh my God. They're gonna be calling for Sirianni's head. I'm like, yo, I would have been laughing if I was a Giants fan. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been right in that Philly crowd, sending them the link. Like, man, y'all only won 22-16 against Davis Webb, like against our backup, an entire backup O line, our entire backup defense besides Darnay Holmes.
Hmm.
Like, come on. Like, I'm not trying to be cocky about it or anything, but yo, like, for y'all to come to MetLife and put 48 on us, and then we go to your home with our backups and like I said, like we're down like 16-0 whatever, and we're sitting there just running trick plays. Well, yeah, let's see if this one works. Let's run a fake field goal for the first time all season. Let's see if this works. Oh, it didn't work. Whatever.
It
Like,
is what it is.
yeah, we're in the playoffs. Who cares? It had to piss them off. Like, yo, we're beating this guy 16-0, and they're running trick plays on us. Like, they're like, we're the number one seed in the NFC. And they're running trick plays. Like, oh, let's throw a throwback. Ah, whatever. You got us. You saw that
like
one coming.
like this is practice to them. Like what is
Yeah,
happening right
like
now?
yeah, like even being on Twitter, you see every like beat writer and analyst whatever is just like Giants have a preseason game in the regular season finale. Like
Mhm.
that's what it was for us. And that to me, I think that was like one of the best feelings of the year. Like it was better than some of our wins. Just going to Philly with backups and competing against their starters, and just being like, "This is it." Like, that was one of the best feelings of the world. Like, oh my gosh, I'm such a bad person. I really don't care. I can't stand Philly. I can't. I can't. Oh man, defensively, let's turn to defense because I know we're not trying to be on here all night.
Yeah.
Defensively, I took some notes defensively as well. I know you said from what you watched, Cordell Flott and Rodarius had good games considering what they're up against. Devonta Smith, AJ Brown. I
Yeah.
saw that Rodarius get hit for a big gain. A lot of people have been banging the table and giving Cordell Flott his flowers today. A lot of people have been saying he had some ups and downs this year, but they said that kid gets a little bigger, puts some weight on, gets in the weight room, and works on himself this offseason and gets dedicated.
Yeah.
He can be a number two corner for us next year. I want to see it. Like, I'm not going to say it can't happen. I just would love to see it. I want to see what he can offer us.
Hmm.
Um, Again, you brought up Nick McLeod also. He said Nick McLeod, he had an up and down game, but he said, he made a really stupid penalty, but he also had some pretty good plays in coverage. He had a blitz play and everything. He had 1.5 sacks actually for us.
Yeah.
And then I know I put in Jared Davis again. He had 10 sacks. 10 sacks. Ooh, I wish he had 10 tackles and he had half a sack in his Giants debut. I mean, there is some highlights I've been watching of guy. I don't know if you saw it, but there's like a minute of his highlights of all his tackles and everything on
Hmm.
Twitter. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you.
Send it.
But that dude,
I
you
haven't seen
saw
it.
it?
No,
You
I
haven't
haven't
seen it?
seen it. Send it.
That dude was flying. Like, I mean, I don't know how he was diagnosing these plays. I mean, I get it. Like, it's muscle memory. I get it. You can recognize, you can realize plays. But for this guy to be, again, from, just signed from the Lions, I think he's on the Lions or somebody's practice squad the entire season. He just,
And considered a bust.
right. Like, he was signed off, I think he was on the Lions practice squad.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to sign him, I think, since like week 6 or something like that. He just kept declining to sign with us to stay on their
Yeah.
practice squad. And this dude finally comes over and he has 10 sacks, 10 tackles. Keep saying sacks. He keep 10 tackles in his freaking Giants debut.
Kirk
Like,
Cousins go get sacked 10 times on Sunday.
oh my gosh. You don't know. Even if we lost the game, if that happened, I would just be like, oh, this has been a great success.
Yep.
Like, if we lost like 3-0 on a 67-yard field goal, I'd be like, you know what? Kirk Cousins ain't making it to next week anyway. So, guys, I'd be so happy, yo. I'd be so happy. I was just like, I don't know. Like, I was just highly impressed. Like, just from what I did see the game, watching him, and then just watching highlights and film of the guy, like, the
Hmm.
way he was diagnosing plays to me was just ridiculous. The way he was just it's something that I haven't something clearly happened the way your face just changed. But just like, oh, okay, we just leave people open. That's always good.
Yeah.
The way he just like the way he just was diagnosing plays was crazy. Like I said, I gotta show you. I gotta send you that video. Um, shoot, if I can, I'll pull it up on here. Actually, I'm might tinker around a little bit if I can pull it up. But like, it was it was something else. Just watch this guy dissect their offense. It's a linebacking play that I haven't seen from our linebacking core like
Mm-hmm.
this entire season. But like, what are your thoughts on the defense and everything?
First and foremost, Ellis and Mondo, you guys both suck. All right, like you did a pretty good job as far as containing like in like pass rush, but as far as like when you were run like the run defense was against horrible, and I don't understand why. Like, granted, I know we got to get some linebackers to help fill some of these gaps, but when you're sitting up here and you're getting blown 3 and 4 yards off of the ball every time it snaps, that's got to change. And I get the combo blocking and all kinds of other stuff. You got to split that, right? You got if you know what's coming, if you know that's what they've been nailing you with all game long, you got to find a way to break that, right? That's pretty much football, right? Especially for an interior defensive lineman. I played the position. You've played the position. You got to be able to fight through that sometimes because that's all you got, right? Especially with a guy like Wink who likes to blitz all over the damn place, right? After
I'm
that,
weird. I like getting double teamed as a nose guard. I'm just weird like that. Cause I will win, and I'd be like, I kick both your asses. I was weird, but whatever.
we'll start talking a whole bunch of junk like, yeah, you guys are that afraid? You that scared?
Exactly. You got to double me, huh? You double team me, huh? And
Little
then
old
next
me.
play, then the next play, they dive in my knee. I'm like, all right, all right, all right.
All
All right,
right,
we'll
enough of
cut
that.
blocking. Chill out. Cut blocking.
But yeah, like just skipping past the linebackers because again, I wasn't really too focused on them. I like I said, McFadden had his sack. He was flying around a bit yesterday, so I'm guessing he was out there thinking that like, yeah, this is my shot, this is my opportunity. Even though his opportunity was all season long for some reason. Um,
Mm,
Skipping over them real quick, getting to guys like Rodarius Williams and Cordell Flott. Rodarius Williams, I don't know if it was all game, but enough of the game. Rodarius Williams was matched up against AJ Brown, and he did a damn good job, even though he gave up, some big plays here and there. You're talking about a corner coming off of an ACL that was drafted in the 6th round, going up against one of the best receivers in the NFL, and a guy that I want somebody to put their helmet into his chin because I can't stand him.
mm,
But he went out there. He was doing this thing. Guys were out there making. He was out there making plays on the ball, knocking the ball away in certain situations, and all kinds of other stuff. Again, this is a guy who, on paper, should be completely overmatched, but he wasn't. And that right there tells me, like, he went out there. He got the message all week long. This is your opportunity, kid. Go make the most of it. And if he goes out there and he continues to put performances like that, on film, he may not be too far away from actually, sticking on with this roster because you got another guy out here who is not really tied to the current regime at all.
yeah.
So, like, what do you got there? You got an opportunity to actually solidify your spot on the roster with somebody who doesn't have to give you anything because they have no personal connection to you whatsoever. Cordell Flott on the other side, Flott was all over the place. Like, he was doing this thing yesterday. All right. Again, you're up there against Devontae Smith. You're a 3rd round pick. You've been hurt half a season or whatever. He went out there and he did his thing. And I can't complain one way or the other. Nick McLeod, I have been on him all year, right? Dropping interceptions, pass interference when we don't need it, all kinds of other stuff. He went out there. Now, granted, I said the penalty was stupid because it was. It was really dumb. He didn't have to do what he did. I am also going to call bullshit on it because it didn't need to be called. Jalen Hurts didn't fall when he hit him. McLeod was on a corner blitz. He came in. Hurts got the ball away. He pushed him in the back, and Hurts went stumbling forward. He kept his feet, but he went stumbling forward. They
Yeah,
call
I
roughing the
saw that.
passer. I was like,
I saw
you
that.
guys. I was like, I'm like, you got to be smarter than that, McLeod. But your refs are full of shit. That was so stupid. Like, I understand you want to protect the quarterback, but what are you protecting them from? That was nonsense, yo. Like I said, like at some point you got to remember these guys are football players, right? The one thing I am going to give him, though, I don't know if it was directly the play after, but I do remember it being the exact same drive. He came on another blitz, and that's where he got his sack. So I'm like I said, go out there. I'm looking at a guy in which, granted, when he came off the edge on this play, he came in unblocked. But if he's doing that and he's picking his spots to that point, you may have found somebody who can actually get into the backfield on some of these corner blitzes. Because if you see our blitzes, and this is Wink, this is going back last year with Patrick Graham, this was with Spagnolo, this was with Perry Fuel, and everybody else before that. These dudes cannot design a freaking blitz for nothing. When you see guys blitz the Giants, you see free rushers all the time.
all the
One or
time.
two. It's not necessarily one of those situations where it's just the offensive line doesn't pick up the blitz. It's a situation where sometimes they just get the call completely right in that situation, and our offensive call is just overmatched by our defensive call. That has not happened with us defensively. You don't get those situations where you get that perfectly timed blitz where we get somebody rushing through the line free right at the snap or something like that because their offensive line just doesn't know what to do. We haven't had that until yesterday. You had it a couple of times yesterday. And I said, granted, yesterday might have just been the perfect storm. Right. But you have something on film right now where it's just like, you know what? Let's try and build off of that. Let's see what we can do with that. So, like I said, angry for the stupid penalty. But as I said, I'm not going to sit up here and at any point tell anybody that I am above calling myself out when I call somebody out and I'm wrong. All right. McLeod, aside from that dumb penalty, played a damn good game yesterday for as much shit as I've given him all year. All right. For yesterday, and hopefully going through the playoffs, here are your flowers.
Listen, I mean, just to back up what you said, we've both been on McLeod for like the entire year. We both were on that guy, and just to be honest, the guy. I'm not saying he's held his own every game because he's made his mistakes, he's messed up, whatever.
Mhm.
But the guy, you could see the progress as the season's going on. Like you could see he's gotten better as the season's going on, and I wouldn't mind bringing him back next year. Like I'm not gonna sit here and talk about this guy being your number one corner at all.
Hell no.
But what I am gonna say is like at least we said like for sub packages, for maybe some corner blitzes, for a third, a fourth, a fifth, even a fifth corner, like I'm fine with that guy. That
Yeah.
he came in and he showed like he showed out. Like from the time he started, we were like really like we were cursing this guy. Who the heck is this guy McLeod? Like and he's come in and he's I'm not gonna say he's like been amazing, but he's been doing pretty well. I can't lie and say he hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the whole blitzing thing, yeah, I don't understand it either. We go over this every week. And I sit here and I'm like, how is it that when we watch other games and other teams, every time a team sends a blitz, it's perfect. There's a big huge hole, somebody shooting through, like they'll send 6 to 7 on the blitz, and there's only 5 to 6 to pick it up, and somebody always gets home, so it's a free rusher or something. Somehow, some way with the Giants, and this has been for the longest time, we could somehow send 7 on a blitz
And they
and
get
not get home
stonewalled by
and
5.
get stuffed and get stuffed. I'm like, how? How are you sending 7 against 5 and getting stonewalled? Where are the other two? Like how are you letting one lineman block 2 people? How's that working?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you telling me you're blocking Dexter Lawrence and Jalen Smith at the same time? Like, there's no way. And like I never understood it. I never understood it. Like you said, it never fails. It never fails. Every other team can just they can call all these perfect blitzes and get home and get home and get home. If you look at the Giants, out of nowhere, like Wick will call a blitz and we'll send 7, or Giants sending everybody, and it's like we send 8 and there's 3 back, and somehow like the quarterback still just
Mm-hmm.
Just like yo, like how are you not winning, sitting 8-5? How does this make sense? Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
mind boggling. It is
It really
absolutely mind
is.
boggling.
It really is. Like I said, I think like I said, I put down notes that I was just saying. Like we picked off Hurts once, we sacked him 3 times, and like I said, the I gotta find the Jared Davis clips, and I just think that like all around, I enjoyed the game. I guess I know it was not a victory information podcast. I know we didn't win the game, but again, for you to go into the number one seeds territory and hold them to 22, and have their starters playing the entire game. Like people were talking about, oh, Boston Scott, the giant killer, this and that, blah blah. Yeah, great. We don't like Boston Scott. I understand that, but it was 22-16. We lost by 6 points with our third stringers. Like our third string quarterback was in the game. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, we had second, third, and fourth teamers in the game against the supposed best team in the NFC, and we held them. Like, to me, like again, and you skated out clean and healthy. That's all
If
I
I
wanted.
remember, if I remember correctly, like not to get into a whole bunch of oh my god, just to get like the point spread and everything. If I remember correctly, was like 16 and a half.
What is going on in this game?
I don't know. So when I saw Stetson Bennett cock back and he launched the ball a third of a second after the ball was snapped, and he had a guy that wide open that far down the field. I don't understand it, but whatever. It is what it is. I have no rooting interest in this game, but
Stetson Bennett trying to get that draft stock.
yeah, he's sitting up there. He's just like Bryce who,
Yeah, right. Bryce who?
CJ who.
CJ who? What's a Levis? Like, like, jeez. Yo,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You want to hop on Minnesota real quick so that we can close this mess down.
yeah, hold on. I want to see. We're about to enter the Matrix real quick.
See if we can pull something up.
Yup. Can you see this?
At the moment, I can't see anything except you and me.
You can't see anything? Share my screen. Let me see if I can get it somewhere. I understand that.
Jesus.
Share. Let me share the entire screen. Let's see the words. There we go. Oh, we're in the Matrix.
Lord, what the hell just happened?
You see this now?
Yeah.
Yo, watch this guy. Look at this guy, 57, man. My man Jared Davis is just diagnosing and dissecting plays. This guy was just brought in. Yo, you just see that? This dude's calling plays. Look at this.
Yeah, I heard that. Like he's out there, he's calling the plays, but from what I
Like,
understand, it was somebody else that had the green dot. So they
like,
were getting all of the signals and everything and giving them to him or something.
yo, he ran to where like, yo, this guy's he's been on the team less than a week. None of our linebackers have played like this. None of our linebackers. Look at this. Like, yo, this man is calling plays. Like, look at this.
Yo,
Like,
what?
yo, this makes no sense. No sense. I just left the screen. I gotta see the screen again because he looks like that's crazy. He called the screen. Look, boom, take it off out there. Like, yo, this man on the team. Look at it. Like, yo, I want to
Well,
see the
there was,
other play again. He runs to the spot. Look at this. Like, I have never, ever seen like I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, this guy is he's dying. He's running to the spot where the play is going to be before the ball is snapped.
yeah.
like, like I
Someone
haven't seen it.
someone was
Like
paying attention in film room this week.
this man hasn't been. This man hasn't been on the team for more than a week.
Mhm.
Like for more than a week has been on the team, and this man is making plays like that. This man is running to the spot the ball is going to be the hole for the run before the ball is hiked. Like, oh my gosh. I was just watching that video. Like I said, I was watching the game, but I had to leave. I had to coach a clinic. I I watched what I could, and when I came back and I saw those highlights, and I was just watch. I would watch that video maybe like 10 times today, and
Mm-hmm.
that's probably like 11 and 12 right there. Because I'm it's a 50-second clip, and I'm watching this guy diagnose the play and moving around like nobody else on the defense is moving around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, you've been playing for on the Giants, learning this system for all of 7 days, and you've been the Giants' middle starting middle linebacker for the past 7 seasons. It was disgusting, and I like in the best way possible. I was like, the football coach in me was just like I was smiling ear to ear, like this is amazing, amazing, yo. Like I know he was a little high on some tackles, but yo, my man was he threw his shoulder into oh god, Max Duggan.
Yeah,
He
I know.
yeah, yo, Jesus. Yo, like he threw his shoulder into the lineman's like chest and blew the play up in the backfield. I'm like, yeah, this man signed back. You can't do this to me in week 17 or week 18 of the season. Like, you
Yeah,
can't do this to
seriously.
me. You can't do this to me.
My man
Oh my gosh.
was getting his highlight reel for the 2022 season in one game.
Yo, this man's gonna get like 50 mil off a 50-second clip. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my yo, I'm sorry. I just had to like whoo. That was I'm going to watch that after we get off the line again. Oh man. Yeah, let's move on to the Vikings. This will be short and quick because
Yeah.
again, we know what we gotta do. Like
Yep.
you go ahead. The floor is yours. What do
Well,
you
first and foremost, short prayer to the football gods. Please, please let Adoree Jackson be healthy and play this game because I really think that Justin Jefferson's kind of pissed off right now, considering what happened. Like I said, we took them to the wire in the first game. Then we turn around here and you see what he put out there against Green Bay last week, and then having to go out there and basically have a get right game as a 12-win team already in the NFC at the very last game of the season. I think he's kind of pissed off, and I don't think he really wants to be out there dropping one at home in the playoffs as the NFC, I was about to call them the NFC Central, the NFC North champions. So please, I do not think that Fabian Moreau going up against Justin Jefferson one-on-one this week is going to be a good idea. So please give us Adoree Jackson back. We
Oh
need
my
our number
god.
one corner.
Oh my
Now,
god.
the good thing, the good thing is that the one-handed wonder of Xavier McKinney is going to be back. All right, he's going to be
What is
there.
up with the Giants and like wanting to play with one hand? Like
I have no idea. Maybe it's just a challenge that they like
it's
doing.
just like
They want to. They want
why
to
is
put
that
the
a
game on.
requirement to play for the Giants? Like
They want to put the game on chaos and all Madden difficulty.
oh my gosh. Like why is that a thing for us? Like you got two hands, brother. You can't play here. Ooh,
Yeah,
like
I don't
hey,
get it, man. I don't get it.
gosh.
Like,
At least he's
hopefully he
back.
doesn't end up with the Bucks a couple of years from now. But
Oh god.
but the thing about it is, and like I said, Carl Banks came out there again. Like I brought this up last week. Carl Banks came out there and he said maybe McKinney just had to get his legs back under him, and which is why he had quote unquote given up that 50-yard pass down the field to I think it was Paris Johnson. What the hell is his name? Um, the receiver for Indy. That 50-yard. I think it's not
Yeah,
Pittman. It's the other dude.
Paris Campbell.
Yeah, that guy.
Something like
Because
that. Yeah.
he gave up the 50-yarder to him on their field goal drive at the beginning of the game, and it kind of looked like, oh man, we're running into a problem here before the Giants became the Brian Dable Giants and went out there and just started bullying people. But
Hmm.
but X getting himself back, like each of those plays, he was out there in position to do what needed to be done. So it's not like he lost a step, like he had rust on him that he needed to knock off. It's just he misplayed two passes that should have been in his hands. Right. So getting him out there in a playoff scenario, a guy from, as much as I hate them, is a school who is used to being in playoff scenarios. He knows what it's like, or even though it's the NFL playoffs versus college football, he knows what that stage is. This ain't gonna be too big for him. You got him out there leading the defense. Julian Love could step back into the role that he was playing at the beginning of the season before like the ATV accident and everything like that forced him to be the quarterback of the defense out there with Pinnock and everybody else. Uh, Actually, shout out to Pinnock in that game because I saw him out there, did not hear his name called once. So I'm not trying, like, he didn't like screw anything up the other day as far as I saw. But
Yep.
what's the name? All right, that's not my dude. Um, Looking at this game, we saw what was necessary to beat them a couple of weeks ago on Christmas Eve in their stadium, like we were in there before. Right. I'm pretty sure they're going to come out there with a similar game plan, trying to shut down Saquon Barkley. They're going to try to make some adjustments with their passing game, their passing defense, because I'm pretty sure they don't want Daniel Jones throwing for another 330 yards against them. But
Yeah.
if you look at it, with the exception of the Cowboys game, every single time we have played a team a second time this year, this team has come out there and put out a better performance than they put out there the first time. Well, yesterday being like the extreme result, the extreme version of that one. But you're sitting here, you're looking at a situation where now we're going up against a team that isn't used to seeing us twice. So we go out there, we got film on them. We got film of them playing their best. We got film of them playing absolutely terribly against a team that just got knocked out of the playoffs yesterday for doing some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yo, I know this is a Giants podcast, but I don't know what Quay Walker was thinking last night.
Quay Walker
I
and
don't,
whoever 95 was too.
yo, I don't know what either of them were thinking last night. Like, for you to ever put your hands on personnel, like whether that's coach or trainer or whatever, like all the dude was trying to do was trying to show medical attention to the player that was injured, and you literally watched him walk up and push him in the back. And then when he turns around and looks at you, then the D tackle wants to walk up behind him and start bumping him and push him out. But I'm like, yo, what is wrong with both of y'all? Like, y'all both trying to throw out the game. And then,
Especially in the situation that you're in, because guess what
like,
happened right after that? Detroit scored.
right. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? And then, like, Quay Walker wants to throw, like, a little, temper tantrum when he's walking up to the back room. I'm like, bro, did you
Mm-hmm.
or did you not just push a trainer? Like,
Especially considering the week that we're in.
right. I'm like, yo, you literally just walked up and you walked two hands to the back, clear as day. And then you want to walk off throwing it and feel do nothing, bro. Are you serious? Like, yeah, it's so bad because after that, everybody was just like, nah, F the Packers. Like, Lions
Yep.
all day. Knock them out. Knock them out the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. Away in Green Bay, knock the Packers out. Screw Aaron Rodgers. Screw Quay Walker. Screw that other D tackle. Screw everybody. Screw like, get out. Like, after, as soon as that happened, the whole world
Yep.
just flipped. It's just like, yo, what were you thinking? Like, that's
And,
why
and
you're holding.
apparently, and apparently, that's not the first time he's done it. Because according to Twitter, he
No, he
actually
got
pulled the
thrown out
same
early
thing
this
against the
year.
Bills.
Yeah,
He did the same thing against the Bills on the sideline.
yeah, he got
So
thrown out earlier this year.
I don't get it. I do
Nope.
not get it. But anyway, like I said, getting back to it, we have an opportunity right now. To be completely honest with you, Kirk Cousins is going to Kirk Cousins. He's going to give you opportunities. We have to go out there and we have to take advantage of them. Daniel Jones has to continue being the quarterback he's been all season long, the one that manages the game. You don't have to go out there and win it. meaning you don't have to go out there and throw for 400, 500 yards. You don't have to be trying to sit up there and force the ball into a guy that's covered by Patrick Peterson like you did last time. But like I said, on
Yeah, he got
defense,
Isaiah Hodgins happy that first game.
yeah.
He got real Hodgins happy.
I
Like,
mean, this guy was out there catching all these diving, all Madden passes and
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
So,
he was, yeah. Well, that Hodgins is something else.
mm-hmm.
This
But I
dude
have a
Stetson
feeling,
Bennett is athletic as all hell. Give him that much.
yeah. Don't start speaking him
He,
up.
that dude's an athlete. He ain't probably gonna be an NFL quarterback, but my man's got some
He,
wheels on him, some
he
awareness.
he's already got the role of high school douchebag.
What is wrong with you?
That's what he looks like. He looks like the jackass character in a high school movie. The dude that's like stealing the main character's crush or something.
I mean, he does. I mean, his name just Stetson just gives off the rich preppy white kid kind of like that's what kills me. But I'm pretty sure he's not that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he has much of a choice playing around the rest of his team. Like, you're not doing that around us, bro. That's not happening. But
Uh-huh.
he's well, like yeah, your name is Stetson Bennett, like the fourth. Like you're not doing yourself no favors. No favors. Like he should have been. He was like he definitely the name of like somebody in like a Van Wilder movie. So it
Yep.
definitely was. Oh my gosh! All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. I
Well,
swear these college people be having some names. You saw that junk I sent y'all earlier. That
oh
guy
yeah.
Ulysses
Oh,
Bentley.
Ulysses Bentley, man, and he's a good running back too. That's the bad. Like that's not the bad part. That's the good thing. He's a good running back.
Guy
Ulysses
needs to
Bentley.
be a giant. Seventh
I
round
think he's a
pick. Give him
fourth
to
or
me.
a fifth too. Shoot. Oh man. Well, that's gonna do it for tonight. Regular season's in the books, guys. Thanks for watching as always. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, uh, TikTok, whatever. We're any and everywhere. Trying to be as old as we are, trying to be up with the times.
Yep.
Uh, give us a like,
Leave all
subscribe,
my gray
comment,
hairs in my beard.
support us. The Giants are playoff bound. That's why we're just having a good time on tonight's podcast. We'll see the Vikings. We wanted our rematch. We got our rematch. That's what matters. We'll be back on the road to Philly, Road Warriors once again, and we'll see what happens, man. But as always, thanks for watching. Have a good night, and let us know who you're watching about this national championship game. Let us know your thoughts because Georgia looks like it's getting ready to run away with it right now.
Yeah.
But hopefully next week, big information Monday. Until then, go Giants.